So what if I told you that there's an energy inside you, like right now, an ancient, powerful force that can literally transform your body, your mind, your relationships, your entire reality? And here's the thing, this isn't something you have to go out and find. It's a power that already lives inside you, just waiting to be unlocked.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if the most fundamental force within you, the one we often misunderstand or just kind of brush off, was actually the key to building the life you truly want? It sounds pretty radical, right? But it's an idea that ancient traditions have been exploring for thousands of years.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this journey. First, we're going to redefine this energy. Then, we'll look at why this knowledge was basically hidden from us. We'll learn how to spot it in our own lives, walk through a really practical exercise, and finally, explore what it really means to live with this inner fire fully lit.
All right, first things first, we've got to deconstruct what we've all been taught. See, society often gives us this really narrow, purely physical view of sexual energy. But its true nature? It's so much bigger than that. It's not just some random impulse. It is the very engine of your life force.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference here. On one side, you have the common view, right? It's all about pleasure, reproduction, a fleeting impulse. But the ancient traditions? Whoa! They saw it as something way more profound. The raw energy of creation itself, the fuel for our spirit, the very current of life.
And check this out. Even the famous psychologist Carl Jung was all over this. He knew that libido wasn't just about sex. He said it was the psychic energy that drives everything we do. Our motivation to evolve, to create, to find meaning. You could almost call it the gasoline of the soul. So you gotta ask, right? If this energy is so fundamental, why isn't this common knowledge? Well, to figure that out, we have to look at how this powerful knowledge got suppressed. And maybe not so surprisingly, it has a lot to do with power and control.
You know, tons of ancient cultures didn't fear this energy at all. In fact, they revered it. In India, it was called Kundalini, the sacred serpent of energy coiled at the base of the spine. In Taoist traditions, it was sexual qi, a force you could cultivate for health and harmony. The ancient Egyptians even saw it as a divine fire, a spiritual flame inside the body.
And here's the crucial point. The real reason it was hidden. A person who masters their own life force, well, they're not easily manipulated. They don't need external validation to feel whole. And that kind of inner power is a direct threat to any system that relies on fear, on submission, and on keeping people disconnected from who they really are. See, the masters of old didn't try to crush this energy. They practiced sublimation. And this is a really key concept. It's not about denying the force, but about consciously elevating it, transforming that raw, instinctive fire into the light of awareness, creativity, and deep spiritual connection.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty deep, but how does this energy actually show up in your day-to-day life? The truth is, you've probably felt it 100 times already, without even knowing what it was.
You ever had one of those moments where an idea just floods your mind out of nowhere? Like, you're in the shower, and boom, you solve a complex problem. Or you sit down to write, and the words just flow effortlessly, like you're tapped into something bigger. That's it. That's this energy showing up as pure creative impulse. It's also there in those really profound human moments. You know, when you lock eyes with someone across a room, and for a second, the world just melts away. Or you have a conversation that just lights you up and leaves you feeling completely changed. That intensity, that authentic connection, that's this energy sparking between people. And finally, it's that undeniable inner drive, that sudden, almost illogical urge to make something, to paint, to build, to help someone. It's the reason a lawyer suddenly wants to learn woodworking, or a teacher starts a community garden on the weekend. That's your vital energy just demanding to be expressed in the world through you. And when you really connect with this source, a massive shift happens inside you. You stop seeking validation from the outside, and you start emanating this powerful presence from within. It's not about seduction anymore, it's about resonance. Your very presence becomes magnetic, simply because you're whole. So, how can you actually start to consciously work with this energy? Well, let's get into the practical side of things. I'm going to walk you through a simple, but believe me, incredibly profound exercise from ancient Taoist practice. It's called the microcosmic orbit. So first, just find a comfortable place to sit and maybe close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now, bring all of your attention down to your lower abdomen, a few inches below your belly button.
As you inhale slowly and deeply, I want you to visualize a current of warm energy rising up your spine, all the way to the top of your head. And then, as you exhale, imagine that same energy flowing gently down the front of your body, right back to where it started. Just repeating that simple cycle begins to harmonize and circulate your entire life force.
So what happens when this becomes more than just a 5-minute exercise? Well, when you start to live from this centered, powerful place, you basically become your own personal alchemist.
And this leads us to the ultimate goal, transmutation. This is the conscious choice to take the raw heat of instinct and desire and forge it into something higher, into artistic power, into mental clarity, into an unshakable, calm presence. You get to decide what the fire becomes. And the result of this practice? It's a total personal reboot. That raw, scattered impulse, it gets focused and refined into a crystal clear vision for your life. That gnawing feeling of neediness, of always seeking something outside yourself, it's replaced by a state of inner abundance. You just feel whole. That nervous tension and anxiety, it dissolves into a calm, grounded presence, no matter what's going on. And ultimately, you stop looking for an external source of power because you finally realized that you are the source.
So, in the end, it all comes down to a choice. This energy is a fire burning inside you right now. Are you going to let it burn wild, consuming you with unconscious impulses and frustrations? Or will you become the alchemist and learn to wield that flame to illuminate your path, to create your reality, and to light up the world? The power is and always has been yours.